If you want to be an elite shooter in NBA 2K26, then you've came to the right place. Shooting is a lot different this year. There is a pure green window with no RNG. This means there's going to be a real skill gap to shooting and you can't really get lucky. There are no dip, catch, and shoot shots, overpowered midi fades, faster jump shots, and no boost for rhythm shooting. 2K26 is looking good so far, and if you want the game for free, listen up. All you have to do is subscribe to my channel to have a chance at winning. It's free to subscribe. Go down below, click the red subscribe button. Once you're subscribed, go ahead and comment what jump shot you used on 2K25, and I'll pick a winner from the comments in tomorrow's video. And here's the winner for my last giveaway. What's up, guys? It's Solo back with another video, and 2K26 is right around the corner, and it's looking pretty good. Coming off 2K25, where we had the RNG, we had the slingshot of hell. 2K26 looking like it's going to be more skill based. Today, I'm going to be telling you guys everything you need to know about the new shooting system, the new settings, the no dip, catch, and shoot shots, how to do them, rhythm shooting compared to button shooting, everything that you need to know about 2K26. And one of the most important things is that Mike Wang has made it so that there is no more RNG. This is the first 2K ever, in his words, that has a real pure green window for your jump shots. And so what that means is that, let's say this is your green window in your jump shot meter, right? I'm gonna pop up a graphic if I could find it, because there was a really good graphic. I think Joey 2K made it, or 2K Labs might have made it, where the 2K26 green window is like this, but the previous green windows, I don't know which one it was. Let's just take last year, for example. On the edges of that green window, like let's say you barely got in the green window, there's like a 50% chance that it would go in, but you were in the green window. This year, if you're in the green window for your jump shot, it's going in. So that's probably how it should be. I mean, one thing is that maybe cheaters might go crazy. I hope they ban them often and early, because people might be hitting some smothers, especially if you got a device timing it for you. That might get out of hand. But as far as legit players go and competitive play goes, this is a very much needed change. This is looking very good. Something else I noticed, in a lot of the footage in the games that I was playing were on Hall of Fame or Superstar difficulty. So I was on the higher difficulty, but I was not shooting too good. And something else I noticed is that jump shots felt faster. Now, of course, we have the 10% game speed increase. I think when you hear that, you mainly just think that that's for dribbling. And of course, the dribbling was looking crazy. I already dropped a video on that. But jump shots overall felt faster. I don't know if it was just me. I haven't really talked to many other people about this. I kind of wanted to just get my own takes and get my own opinions out there. But like, for example, I was starting to use Steph Curry. I used him a lot. And when I was shooting with him, I was getting so many lates. Also, I don't know if they're slightly lates or slightly early, stuff like that, because it was just straight up late. Like, I didn't even see very lates either, to be honest, now that I'm thinking about it. But obviously Steph Curry's a very fast jumper, so maybe that's what it is, and I was just not used to it. But bro, I was shooting a bunch of lates with Steph Curry. I did notice that. So the jump shots overall feel faster, which again, for competitive play, that's probably a good thing. As the day went on, I did start to figure out the shooting a little bit more for sure. But once you guys get on 2K26, I mean, you might be missing. Of course, with the pure green window in the shooting, the green window is smaller, because if that window is huge, everyone's just making everything. So they did have to make that green window smaller for every shot pretty much. Another thing that we really got to talk about is rhythm shooting. This is a feature that was added last year. If you guys have never heard of it, basically it's with the stick, you pull it down, and then when it's time to release it, you flick it up, but you can't do it too fast because you got to time the tempo right. It's pretty confusing. But in 2K26, you don't have to time the timing. Like, you know how when you are ready to release your jumper and you green it like with the button, that's the timing, right? You don't have to green that. All you have to green with rhythm shooting this year is the tempo, so the speed you go up. So you can go down, right up, smooth, green it. You could shoot a very early, but if the tempo's green, it's going in. So I don't know how I feel about that. Kind of sounds crazy, but there's no boost to rhythm shooting this year. Last year, 2K Labs tested it, and there was like a 70% boost if you used rhythm shooting compared to shooting with just the button. 2K26, there's no boost for rhythm shooting, but it's a little bit easier because you only have to green the tempo. But when you really break it down, what's easier? Greening the tempo with your stick or just greening it with the button? I think probably the button, but we'll have to see really once we get into 2K26 and people start figuring stuff out. This one was kind of obvious, but there is a boost for using no shot meter. And guys, I'm gonna show you guys the shooting settings, some of the best jump shots I found later. So if you don't know how to turn off your meter or nothing like that, I'll show you. But also layups too. If you turn off your layups, you're gonna get a boost for that as well. Another very big thing, and I don't even know how to feel about this, but once we get into the builder stuff, which drops tomorrow, again, sub up, turn on notice, you guys don't miss that. It's gonna affect how you make builds. I'm not gonna say too much about the builder, but off the gameplay, you can have that affect how you're gonna make your builds. If something's looking crazy, if something's looking ass, you know, I'm gonna have that stat higher, I have this stat lower. So one thing is the midi, right? Mike Wang came out a few weeks ago and he said, I think this was on Reddit, midi got stronger. I don't know his exact words, I'll probably pop it up, but midi got stronger. If you guys played 2K25, midi fades were crazy. If you watched 2K25, you know, competitive at the highest level, that's just one example I could think of. It was basically all midi fades. You had an inside center and like a 99 midi guard, and he would just run around the screen midi fading all day. That was the meta. That was the best thing to do. And in 2K26, Mike Wang made the midi even more OP, even better. So once we get into those builds, just know I cooked up some midi builds. You know, we'll get into that tomorrow and when that drops. But the midi's looking good again. Midi fades are looking good, and yeah, I mean, it's just something to think about. You know, when we talk about the dribbling being good, especially for tall guards. If you didn't see that video, I dropped a whole video on it. But you know, you're probably, if you're gonna make a 6'6" or a 6'8" or whatever, you saw the dribbling's looking good, you probably want some ball handler, some speed of ball on those builds. If you're making a small guard or whatever, we're seeing the midis looking pretty strong. And I don't know how much footage I have of it, but I definitely was smacking some shit in the midi. Probably gonna want some midi on your build when it comes to making your build. One of the biggest additions to 2K26 is with the shooting, and that is going to be with the no dip catch and shoot shots. Now, if you guys know in real life, if you're a real hooper, you probably know about this, especially if you watch real basketball. Klay Thompson does it all the time, Ray Allen back in the day. A lot of the best shooters, they will catch it, and instead of, you know, dipping down, because when you're normally shooting a jumper, you kind of start from your hips, go up, shoot it, right? Some of these players will catch it and just shoot it straight up. They don't dip at all. You could do that now in 26. And so how to do that is before you catch the ball, you want to hold the left trigger, or L2 on PlayStation. I was using Steph Curry to test this out, and when I was first doing it, I was shooting so many lates. I was saying it before, the jump shots feel faster overall. So I was trying to compare them. I was trying to do the no dip. I was trying to, you know, just shoot them regularly. I was shooting a crazy amount of lates. I cannot lie to you, because the jump shots are faster in general, but once you do the no dip shots, that's way, like, bro, they're kind of hard to time, especially if you have a really fast jumper. Like if Patty Mills, and we'll get into that in a second, like obviously that's one of the fastest jumpers, right? Patty Mills with no dip, that's almost like Patty Mills rhythm shooting on 25. Like, it's very hard to do, especially with the game speed increase. So eventually I did end up figuring it out, and so we kind of have a comparison. I was shooting no dip, and then the next shot I was just shooting a regular catch and shoot, so you guys can kind of see the difference with Steph Curry. No dip compared to the regular catch and shoot, the no dip is definitely faster, and it's definitely harder to time as well. This might seem like a slight feature now, but it's gonna be big, especially for comp pro-am or comp stage, stuff like that, because if you know what a pocket shot is, if you're deep in, you probably know what that is. It's where you catch it in the corner and you just get it off, right? Catch and shoot real quick. The defender might be helping off you and you just shoot that pocket in the corner. This affects a lot, because now you can do the no dip shots, get it off even quicker. Those pocket shots in the corner are gonna be even better. So now the corners, like in pro-am, you got a guard in the corner, you got a center in the other corner on defense. They're gonna have to hug them more, so that opens up more for the guards up top, where the dribbling is looking very good. Like, this is gonna be crazy for pro-am and just for the game in general. Now you gotta respect those corners more. You gotta respect people that are catching shooting more, because these no dip shots and the people that get them down, that, like, they're definitely gonna be rewarded for it. Also, just so you guys know, obviously you're seeing pieces and bits of my gameplay. I was playing for 9 to 10 hours. Honestly, I was spending more time on the build stuff, so again, that's gonna be crazy tomorrow. But if you want to see my raw footage, I'm gonna just play through it on stream, twitch.tv/solo_. There'll be a link in the description. I'm probably live right now. I'm gonna be daily streaming starting today until I don't know when, November, December, who knows how long I end up going. Yeah, I just figured I would say that the video's not over, and I thought we still got more to talk about, like some of the best jump shots I found. This could really help you on day one when you're making your build or you're looking for a jumper. And speaking of best jump shots, obviously I'm gonna give my opinions, but NBA2KLab.com, they run the tests on all the jumpers, the fastest jumpers, the jumpers with the best green window, all that. They gave me a code this year, code SOLO. It's gonna give you 20% off, but majority of their stuff is free. But if you do want their paid stuff, their premium stuff, code SOLO will give you 20% off. Link in the description. Check them out, because it's very helpful, especially when the new 2K is dropping, to look at all those different tests that they run on everything, like badges, dribble moves, animations, all that. Now let's talk about some of the NBA players that I felt had some good bases, some good jump shots. And I want to say that I don't have gameplay for all of these, but I did test them, whether I was recording it or not, or maybe someone else tested them and I was looking at their monitor. I figured out a lot of the best jump shots for small guards, tall guards, 7-footers, stuff like that. So one of the best ones is going to be Steph Curry. I know I was missing a lot with it, but fast jump shots are always good. You know, I'm just not adjusted to it yet. I'm sure you guys wouldn't be either, sitting down and the game speed's 10% faster and there's a whole different shooting system, right? But Steph Curry, you could tell it feels very smooth, but it is very fast. Another one that was tested, and I don't know if I have footage of this, I don't think I do, but Patty Mills was tested and it felt pretty much the same. Now, whether that's going to be in the game at launch or that's going to be another rep reward, we'll have to see. It's probably going to be a rep reward if I had to guess. 2K just loves taking those best animations and putting them, I mean, I don't hate it because it gives you an incentive to grind. To be honest, I know a lot of people want every animation in the game at launch, off rip, you know, rookie 1. 60 overall is crazy, but obviously you got to be upgraded. You got to have your ball handle up to get the moves, but they stopped dropping them in the season. Some moves we'd have to wait till season 7 for them to drop them, but now we don't have to do that. I don't hate having to grind for some of the best animations, but yeah, we'll have to see. Is Patty Mills going to be in the game at launch, or is it going to be a rep reward? You guys can let me know what you guys think in the comments. And another one that I noticed felt a little bit slower to me was Cam Thomas. Cam Thomas in 2K25, that was basically the best base for small guards. You know, before you got Patty, before you got KPJ at starter 4, everyone used Cam Thomas. It did feel a little bit slower, even with the increased game speed, but I'm sure it'll still be pretty solid. Like, I still got it in my top 3. We got Curry, Patty Mills, Cam Thomas for the small guards or tall guards. And I don't think I have footage of this, unfortunately, but take my word for it. I just wasn't recording. Matt Ryan had a very good base, and I think he could potentially have the best base for the tall guards or the poppers, the lockdowns, the spot ups. Matt Ryan, his base was chicken when I was using it, and I heard that as well from others in the room, so it wasn't just me thinking that. If I'm you guys, bro, I'm writing some of this stuff down. Obviously some of this is kind of obvious, like Patty Mills jumper is going to be good, right? But if you're thinking about making, you know, a popper, 6'7" shooting center, 6'9", whatever, maybe write down Matt Ryan, because I'm telling you, it's going to be complicated when you get on the game for the first time. Everything's going to look crazy. You know, you're going to be scrambling. So it's best to keep track of this type of stuff. And then for the very tall builds, like the 7-footers and stuff, Jonathan Isaac, I know qualifies for those builds. He had a good base. I used it last year and it was still looking pretty good. Obviously it's a lot slower than Steph Curry's jumper. It's way slower, but Jonathan Isaac base was still looking very good. Next up, we have the settings. So when you press start, go to settings. There's a whole bunch of different ones. There's settings, CPU sliders, controller settings, controls, and then you got customized HUD. The settings is just the normal stuff like your game difficulty, you know, the basic stuff. There's not a lot of controls in here. You got your volumes and stuff at the bottom, but it's pretty much just the basic stuff. Then you got the controller settings, and in here you have a bunch of stuff. You have shot timing, you have layup timing, you have free throw timing, you have your visual cue, which of course you can change in the custom jump shot creator. Well, I don't want to speak for 2K26 yet, but that's what it was last year in 2K25. You have the pro stick orientation, make sure that's on absolute. Of course, passive dribble hand swishes, make sure that this is disabled, because that was something that in 2K25 was a major problem, and Mike Wang said he fixed it, but make sure you put on disabled or else your player is going to be dribbling on his own. So that's not something you want. Obviously he's going to be switching hands randomly. And then there's another setting in here, auto lob to moving receiver, there at the bottom in the passing settings. Make sure that that is disabled, or sometimes when you throw a pass, he's gonna randomly lob it. It's a weird setting. I don't know why it's in the game. I mean, I guess it makes sense kind of if he's wide open, cutting to the basket, lob it, but I don't know. That's a little bit of a weird one. So make sure that that is disabled. You can tweak everything, past target direction, past target distance, all this in these settings. But you know, there's only a few major ones. You got the off ball settings, you got the defense settings, but I didn't really change anything else in here, but you guys can see everything that you'll be able to tweak. You got the controls. This is actually really helpful and really cool because there's a bunch of new stuff as well. You got the jump shots, shot timing, go-to shots, some of the basic stuff that you guys probably already know how to do. You got the rhythm shooting tutorial. You got a little video there. It tells you exactly how to do it. And then you got the new quick shot. Now this is the no dip shot I was talking about. It says hold L2, or if you're on Xbox, that's going to be left trigger as you're receiving a pass, and you will get it off pretty much immediately right away. We got a whole bunch of others: free throw, normal layup, quick scoop layup, Euro step layup, which by the way, layups are going to be crazy in 2K26. That's all I'm gonna say about it. I'll probably talk about it more on stream on my Twitch, Solo_on Twitch. You got the slow step decel. You got deceleration now in the finishing. So if you hoop in real life, you know a lot of people have been decelerating. That's a new thing. You kind of slow down right before you finish, get the defender jumping. you go up slow. That's in the game now. So if you guys need to know how to do any of this stuff, that will be in the controls tab. Then you have the customized HUD, and this is the big one. This is where pretty much everything is. So you got the perfect release animation and SFX. You got the player indicator. A lot of these don't matter, but this one does. Shot meter shots. Make sure visibility for shots is off, because that's how you turn your meter off, and that's how you get these shot boosts. But it's been like that for the last 2 years. Same thing with layups. Now you might want to keep this on. Some people were saying they like it on, but you get a boost for layup meter off. So that's another one you might want to do. Maybe not though. Maybe start with it on, then turn it off eventually. Same thing with free throw. Well, I don't know if you get a boost for free throw meter off, but I don't know. I like to turn that off as well. Once I get my free throw down, you can change the rest of the meter settings if you want to use your meter. Turbo fatigue meter, I don't really change any of this, but of course you can change the placement, the size, all that. There are a few more important ones in here, like shot feedback, which we're about to get into, but injury fatigue icon, whatever, like it's personal preference. But I just wanted to show you guys all of this because I don't know if anyone is. So we got the settings, the customized HUD, all the new features and stuff right here. You guys can see I'm changing around where my takeover is. I put it on the right. I think I had it above my head a second ago. And then shot feedback, this is big. So visibility, it's going to start off on simple. This will give you that instant feedback. It's not going to tell you the coverage, but it'll say excellent or slightly, or well, maybe not slightly again, because I don't know if that's in the game, but it'll say late right away or excellent right away. But if you put it on all shots, you guys will see on the bottom, it goes down there and it's excellent. It shows you the coverage, all that. So I like having it on all shots, but some people like having it on simple. And then the rest of this stuff doesn't really matter. You got your ball handler text, and then what was the other setting? Rebound indicator. Actually, I think that's new. Rebound indicator. So I have that on. I guess that's probably for greening your rebounds, because now we can green our rebounds in 2K26. I think there's a lot of very important stuff in this video. Maybe you guys think the gameplay is underwhelming, but I could not blame you if you do think it is underwhelming, because a lot of my gameplay and good stuff was with the builder and what I was able to do with the builder. We were able to play with them like previous years with the little custom test stuff. And so you're not gonna wanna miss that. As far as the dribbling goes, the shooting goes, and the builds go, I got some crazy builds. I made everything you could think of. Small guards, tall guards, ISO builds, lockdowns, shooting centers, post scorers, 7-footers, everything. I made it. And so that's going to be dropping on Saturday, which is the 23rd. So if it's already past that day, those videos are already out. Check my channel. Subscribe. 900K solo coming soon. I'm probably live on Twitch right now. Twitch.tv/solo_link in the description. But if you enjoyed this video, click the video, pop it on your screen right now. You'll enjoy it even more.